The enemy force is finished. Their last large tank formation has been destroyed in the fields south of Pavlovchev. Their units have disintegrated, and their men are either dead or on the run. Their attempt to break through our lines and relieve the Soviet Southwestern front that is encircled west of us has completely failed. There is no hope for them. They will be destroyed just as these forces here were. Now that after a long and bloody fight we have ensured that the enemy will not reach the river Sula, there's only one more task to accomplish. We need to solidify our control of the southern road leading past Shilovsky and on to Terny, making sure that the enemy has no escape route left. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of the Far Escape campaign in Graviteam Tactics Mius-Front. Maybe even the final episode of this campaign, because we will now be entering turn number 10, the final turn of this campaign. So let's hit next turn and see if the situation here on the front line changes, if we are keeping this key point, or if it is falling back into enemy control because we don't have any troops on it. Let's check this out. Okay, we first of all get a new briefing about the historical situation at 1300 hours on that day. So, recently enemy aircraft have been dropping large numbers of phosphorus incendiary balls during low altitude attacks. These incendiary balls resemble plums in size and appearance and consist of a solid mass rich in phosphorus. They spontaneously ignite on contact with air. When ignited, they create small intense sources of fire. To defuse these balls, you must take the following measures. The incendiary balls have not caught fire yet. Then you are to pick them up with rubber gloves or a wet rag and collect them in a container filled with water. Avoid touching with hands and clothing. Next, you need to pour them along with water onto an open sandy area away from people and equipment and let them burn out. 2. Incendiary balls are already caught on fire. It is necessary to cover the source of the fire with dry sand or extinguish with water. Dig up pieces of phosphorus and let them burn on an open sandy area as indicated in part 1. We have seen these phosphorus incendiary balls in action during the attack by the IL-2s. And well, that is also the reason why our losses were so incredibly low despite an attack by 6 IL-2s dropping those things from the sky. One of those IL-2s had managed to drop these incendiary balls pretty much through a formation of my men, and yet we only had like 3 losses, I think. Plenty of wounded men though. We had plenty of wounded men that got a little bit burnt by those incendiary balls. But yeah, if such an incendiary ball doesn't land right next to a man and pretty much hit him directly, then well, they don't really die. If this fight would be happening in dried out woods, for example, or if there was a village that they were bombing with houses, I think they could cause a lot of fire because they would set a lot of stuff ablaze. But in these in these open fields where we actually didn't have much high and dry grass, these incendiary ammunitions had little effect. But here on the map we see the historical situation. So at that point in time, the Soviets were pretty much pulling back. You can see that here the Group Belov, they are all pulling back while the SS is advancing down here on the southern side and the 41st Motorized Infantry Regiment is advancing on the northern side. Good, so let's compare this to our situation. Okay. Some things are getting repaired. Ammunition, very important. Good, plenty of repairs, plenty of ammunition. We need that. We need that ammunition. Units digging in. More ammunition. Okay. So this here is not ideal. The enemy unit that we had pushed out of this village here has actually reformed and is contesting the key point. Even maybe brought it back into their possession. So I will have to recapture this. Oh yes. The problem, however, is that I don't have a unit in these areas here that can directly attack these guys. I would have to move units into position first, and I don't have the time for that. We are in the final turn. We are simply in the final turn. Let's have a quick look at the points. Currently, player force strength, we are at 76%, and that means we are getting 52 points out of 100 for that. We control the key points, or we controlled them for a while, so we are getting the full points for that. I'm actually not sure if this key point is considered to be in our control or in the enemy's control. That's a good question. The game seems to think that it is in our control right now, but I'm not so sure about that. The secondary objectives, we are receiving 24 points for reducing the enemy's force strength to 38%. 0 points for the capture of key points, which I think is a little bit weird. Why am I not receiving points for that? Why is that only at 26%? I'm not sure. And we are receiving 46 points for the reserves that we managed to preserve so far. Well, we only managed to preserve 46% of our reserves, but we really needed to replace some losses, so... Overall, we have 322 points currently out of 600. This is more than we need to win this campaign, so at the moment, it seems we are winning, although the final numbers will only be calculated when the campaign is done. So this is still bound to change. Now, what can we do? What can we actually do now to bring this battle to a conclusion? Attacking. We will be attacking wherever we can. It will be a series of attacks, and the main attack will be launched by these guys towards the east to draw as many of these enemy forces into the fight as possible. Since these guys have armor with them, they can actually attack through. That means the battlefield area will most likely look like this. And that would mean that we can get all the way to Skripali, possibly push the enemy off the map. We'll have to see if that works or not. We know that the enemy still has some tanks at his disposal. There's bound to be, I think, a T-26 or 2, or was it a BT? No, I think it was... Well, some tanks managed to survive the previous battle, some light tanks. They are here. This here might be a KV tank. However, I do have my 88s. Oh, well, maybe I don't actually. The 88s are here. I need to bring him closer. I need to bring some guys closer. Okay, let me think about how I want to deploy my forces here. Which forces I want to bring closer. And then we are going to resume the video with the orders for the final turn. And maybe for the final battle. Welcome back. Decisions have been made that will most likely determine the outcome of this campaign. I'm moving units into position. This unit is moving forward toward the north, towards the village of, what is it, Chilovsky. And they have 2 assault guns with them. 2 fresh ones. I exchanged the ones that had expended all the ammunition for these 2 fresh ones. The ones that have expended the ammunition, they are back in the reserve. I'm thinking if I should bring some infantry along with them, but... maybe an engineer platoon. Some pioneers might be fun. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. They are all of the same strength, yes? Yes. In that case, let us bring the 2nd engineer platoon. So they are moving to this village. Then who else do I have moving into position? These guys are moving here, but I don't think they will actually be participating in the battle. I think the units that are further on the front line will participate. These ones down here won't. Up here in the north, the 7th company of the 41st is moving south, and the 1st company is moving even further south than that. I hope they will get to participate in the upcoming battle. These ones surely will, but the main attack will be initiated by the 10th here. But before that happens, I hope that this commander will exchange positions with this commander here. Why is that? This one has 2 88s, while this one has only 1 with him. I would like to have the one with 2 88s on the front line. So I hope that that happens. And then it's mostly just a series of attack commands. This guy is going to initiate the main attack, and since these men are considered to be mechanized due to the presence of the assault gun, well, they are getting a nice attack boost, and it is determined, or well, it is visualized by this yellow dot that you can see here. That means that this is basically a mechanized or armored attack which has a longer reach. So I think that by attacking this unit we will actually get a battlefield that looks like this, that will be not only just 1 square deep into the enemy territory, but 2 squares deep into the enemy territory. In case that doesn't work, I have plenty more attacks planned. So the 2nd will attack down here, the 10th will attack up here, so at the very least we should be able to destroy all these enemies in this area. The question is if we will get to destroy these ones as well, but the 3rd company up here will also attack south. So these guys are definitely getting destroyed. The question is if we are going to get to these ones. Oh, that will be an interesting question. Well, with all that prepared, let us hit next turn and see if we do get a battle. Maybe the enemy just pulls out of the area. That's also a possibility. If they are too weak, they won't accept the fight. Here goes nothing. We are getting a battle, but we are not getting the battle that I wanted. Okay. The game has determined this battleground for us. Huh. Not really what I wanted. I don't think we will be getting to destroy this unit down here. I think they will escape our wrath. We will most likely get another battle here to capture Skripali, but even that is not guaranteed. There are 2 unknown enemy units in that area, so we'll see. But I don't think we will get to fight for this area down here again. I just hope that the key point is considered to be in my control. But this is the battle that we will be fighting now. And let me tell you, I have 3 88s on the field here, and I will be using them. Maybe some of them even from the hill, if I can manage that. From the hill they will be able to shoot quite far. It might be too far away. I might have to position them on the bump or something like that. It really depends. The area where I will be able to set up the 88s will be limited due to the positioning of these units. But I do have some more anti-tank guns that are mobile, so yeah, great. I think we can make this work. Let's go to the battlefield. The scene has been set for what may be the final battle of this campaign. And I don't think it will be a very long one. Let me give you a quick overview of how I have deployed my units. So we have a whole bunch of men inside of Pavlovchev, the village that is now firmly in our hands. The enemies are not far away from them. I suspect that we will have enemies somewhere around the barn here, maybe out here in the open, and well, over there towards the homestead. I expect an enemy tank or something to be over there. But we'll see about that. I do have my 88s on the field, and they are positioned in interesting locations. So one of the 88s is set up on top of this hill here, as far up as I could get it, and it has a pretty amazing line of sight over a large portion of the battlefield. Even though the distance is very great, if this thing hits, it's sure to cause some damage. I have two more. Two more 88s are positioned here. One here in this field, from where it too has a pretty good view of the hill over there near Pavlovchev. I think that's Pavlovchev right there, isn't it? Yes, it is. These houses there, that's Pavlovchev. So it has a good view of the hill and the area in front of the village. And same for the second 88 of that unit, which is sitting here. So the 88s can cover quite a lot of ground, and my hope is that if there are enemy tanks, and yes, there will be enemy tanks, I expect to see about 3 or 4 enemy tanks if they didn't once again pull reserves out of somewhere, which may very well be true. Then we might see even more tanks, but I expect to see at least 3 or even 4. And I think we will be able to take them out quite fast. I have another anti-tank battery up on the... where are they? Up on this hill here, between Zamudi and Pavlovchev. They are sitting in this field. There's a whole bunch of 3.7 centimeter guns. I don't expect too much from them, but there are also some 5 centimeter guns that could cause the enemy some issues. Unless they bring a KV-1, in which case I'll really need the 88s. I have a whole bunch of artillery that is pre-planned to zero in on some locations or to simply outright flatten others. For example, this barn here, that's scheduled to disappear. And I think the homestead too. Anyway, let's start. And let's see what the enemy brings to the table. Oh, the weather has changed. It is cloudy. The forecast reports clear weather ahead. 15 degrees Celsius, the temperature has dropped a little bit. And the wind has picked up with 6.8 meters per second. Okay. We see signal flares going up. Now, this is not ideal because the visibility is being reduced, which might impact my gun's ability to target enemy units or tanks. My main goal for this battle really is to reduce casualties on my side. So, where possible, I will try to hit the enemies hard without endangering my own men. That means in order to defeat the enemies I will have to kill them with long-range fire, with artillery, or at least suppress them before my infantry moves in. And you see there is a whole bunch of artillery getting ready to do something. Some of them are just zeroing in. They might have such good accuracy on target that they don't even have to fire a shot. Others are outright preparing to bombard an area. Okay, I hope that's not my artillery. That would be tragic. Let me scroll through the artillery targets really quick. Just make sure that that's not one of my salvos landing. No, it isn't. That's the enemy artillery. Enemy artillery is targeting us. And we have tanks on the field. Tanks on the field. Let's take a quick look at the things that we are facing here. That looks like a T-26. And the second tank, that's the KV. KV sighted. Enemy infantry, more tanks and enemy guns sighted. That's an enemy gun, that's a T-26 and another T-26. Okay, so we have made contact with multiple tanks, with enemy infantry. My anti-tank guns should start to get ready to engage. We are so... oh my god! And there are suddenly more. As some of you have pointed out repeatedly in the comments, that must have been something that was said on the Eastern Front quite a lot. More tanks. How? Those are BTs together with the KV. How, I don't understand, but there are more tanks. .88s shoot at something. Yeah, the 88s are opening fire. I'm not sure if the 88 on the hill can actually hit anything. But these ones are starting to engage this formation of tanks. They have 2 guns over here. I feel like I need to bring artillery on target, but they are currently all busy shooting at something else, apart from you. You are sitting up there on the hill. You might be in a decent position to start shelling these tanks, but the call-in time 1 minute 10, yeah, that's okay. 10 per gun, high explosive, give me immediate action fuses, call it. That's a-okay. Good, these enemies, they will not even get close to the farmstead here. They're being cut down as we speak. Homestead is being artilleried by me, and the enemies that are out in the open are being slowly picked apart. Lost sight of some of the tanks, some of them might actually already be dead. The 88s had them in their sights. More enemy guns. This is very much unexpected. More tanks? No, that's still a T-26 that started to move from over there. It's moving towards the hilltop, from where it will get into line of sight of my 88 on top of the Salt Dome, and in line of sight of all the anti-tank guns in the field there. So I don't expect that thing to last long. Tank contacts in this field have disappeared. I think they're all dead. The 88s have made short work of them. I see a whole bunch of tanks just sitting there, looking like wrecks. Can't combat. Who's saying that? One of the 88s has received a hit from something. Immobilized. The wheel is broken. You can still fire. Don't give me that. I think you're being engaged by the enemy's guns in the distance. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, the men are getting back onto the gun, getting ready to resume shooting. Yeah, guns training on some new target. This is insane. Ooh, there's a close hit. Let's see. We can't actually directly see those guns, I think. I think they're shooting on transmitted coordinates. Yeah, we do not have direct line of sight to these 2 enemy guns. That's unfortunate. We do have line of sight to that enemy gun. It may have been very well that gun that hit us. So we are trying to target that thing. Have another artillery strike now coming in on the enemy tanks. Hopefully that will force them to move. I want them moving. I do want them on the move. Because if they're on the move, that's when we are getting them. In the background I see 2 enemy tanks that have somehow got themselves into a nasty situation. One seems to have backed up into another one and overturned it. That's quite hilarious actually. What are you doing? Yeah, the two tanks in the background have entangled themselves. Heavy artillery is raining down onto the position of the tanks here. And as I said, I want them to move. Oh, that looked like a pretty much a direct hit. I want them to move, because if they move, they're getting into line of sight of my guns. Oh wow. Okay, sometimes the game is a bit silly. So this BT is completely panicking. They are just hammering the pedal, backing up. At this rate they are going to overturn too. They're going to flip their vehicle. Good, the enemy gun is engaging us, shooting at us. I would love to get rid of that thing. Can I bring anything to bear on it without exposing my men? That's a really good question. Well, first of all, I should make sure that I continue to artillery the crap out of any enemies that might be sitting somewhere here. So let's just call 30 rounds per gun on these guys. There's a mortar battery that is going to work now. We have howitzers that actually have incendiary ammunition. I'm inclined to get them to work on these guys here. Let's do just that. 20 rounds incendiary. 15 per gun, that's way overkill. Let's retask this. Seems to be enemy trenches here, so let's see if we can get... we can't really target them. I've seen that there are enemies inside this tree line, and that's actually a really good target. So let's drop the incendiary on them. Fire away. This mortar battery, I'm sure that you can... Oh, you only have smoke rounds. I'll keep you in reserve for now. Good. Let's see what else we can start to target. Where are you sitting? You're sitting on the hill. You should have line of sight to these guys. You're already doing what you can. Firing a massive high explosive salvo. You are sitting in Shilovsky. When you are finished with these fire missions, I want you to turn your attention on the enemy guns. Ah, the accuracy is crap. Looks like you don't have line of sight. I could try to get you to where you do have it. I could try to bring you over to this flank. Let's do that. Move covertly to here. Then you are going to move to here. Finally you are going to move to here and then take up a defensive position there. When you're sitting there in that house, I hope that you have line of sight and that you can start to get artillery onto these guns. Let's see, do we have more artillery professionals that might influence the battle? You are sitting over there, so you probably have still good line of sight to the enemies that are doing what? You have been targeting the barn. Ah, the incendiary is firing. You can already see fire starting. Who could you target? You could target these guys. Looks like they are itching to go across here. So convince them that that's a really bad idea. Here comes the incendiary. That's incendiary ammunition. If there are enemies sitting inside these trees, then I really do pity them. Heavy guns have completed their barrage on the enemy tanks. I might just repeat it. The enemy tanks seem to be moving. Yeah, they seem to be on the move now, so let's not repeat the barrage. Let's see if we can get these heavy guns to target the enemy field gun here. Deleted. Okay. The KV is not moving. This BT got its track stripped by an artillery shell landing close. So that's not going anywhere either. And I think the KV is still damaged from previous battles and can't really go anywhere. So it's sitting there as a pillbox. I will try to target it with the heavy artillery, of course. But we should now see what we can do. What we can do to get rid of some of the enemies, to push them back. I do have a whole company advancing towards Grebeni from Peremoga back there. As they are getting closer, and once they get into Grebeni here, they will get into positions to start an attack towards this homestead. They will attack through these troops that are holding the tree line here. That will be their task. Over here we have taken light losses, nothing major. It's really fine. Many enemies over there, but they're being targeted quite heavily. The enemy tanks are now starting a general advance. My mortars that I have stationed here in the village are shooting. I have a mortar battery here. No, not here. Where are they? I do have them somewhere here. I also have 2 assault guns here that I will send into the action once I deem it necessary. Oh, here's the mortar battery. 8cm mortars. 2. Good range on these things. So, currently it looks like... Oh yeah, the mortars are shooting. Can I maybe get the mortars to target the enemy guns? They would be very well suited to that. Let's see. If I give this order, does anybody have eyes on who can transmit information? Maybe. Likely, yes. Mortars are now going to turn their attention towards that enemy gun. So they are about to have a bad day. Yeah, the shells are starting to land now. Yeah, the shells are definitely starting to land. All around these guys. It's only a matter of time until one shell hits directly. There go. Splinters. Oh, there we go. That's the gun's crew. Pretty much all killed off. Some seem to be still wounded, but not for long. Yeah, the heel is going to run away. These guys are breaking. Or are they? Let's keep the mortars shooting. Yeah, I think they are trying to recrew the gun. But it's futile. It's absolutely futile. The mortars will keep shooting. Okay. Can I use this opportunity to maybe bring assault guns to bear? Although if I do that, I can't really because of the KV tank. That's the difficult choice to make. Look at this BT going. Look at him go. Such a brave little tank. And this one has a big antenna, so that means that it's a command tank. It's being hosed down with machine gun fire. I'm just waiting for the 88 shell to smack this thing into the next world. That's not gonna be long. I think they want to engage something. But so far the enemy resistance is disorganized. Their forces are split up. I don't see this going anywhere really. Don't I have a single 88 with line of sight to this tank? That's crazy. Well, if I don't have line of sight now, I'm sure to get it soon. There we go! Just as I said it, it's getting engaged. So... any moment now. Yes, do stop there. That might have been a shell just ricocheting off the ground. That this thing is still advancing, still alive, is astonishing. There was a shell whizzing by. They missed it. Ah, BTs are small and fast. I want to see this thing just blow apart. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. The driver is still alive, but I suspect that the turret has taken a hit. So the driver is now trying to reverse out of here. There goes another shell. Just went over. And another one. And another one. Come on guys, hit it. I know the distance is great, but... let's take a quick look. Where did they hit you? Well, it wasn't the side of the turret as I imagined. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't see a big gaping hole anywhere. That was a hit. And I think it's on fire. It is. Oh well. That's the end of this BT. The hit ignited something important. This BT is quite symbolic for the Soviet situation on the battlefield right now. It's completely fucked. Right, what else can I do to the enemy? So... Did the gun die? Well, the heavy artillery is taking out the other one, but the mortars have not. The enemy is offering a ceasefire, and my mortars have actually ran out of ammunition, so this gun is still alive for now. And these tanks are still sitting here, not allowing me to bring my assault guns into the action here. This is a hard nut to crack. Look at this, by the way. If I were you, I would try to repair that track as soon as possible, and then get in and drive off towards the east. I think they're trying to do just that. They are repairing their track right now. And then we'll have to see what they are trying to do with that. It's nice that in this game tank crews are actually attempting to repair tracks. It's taking a really long time, but they can do it on the battlefield. They can perform limited battlefield repairs. Heavy artillery is still hitting back here. I need to make sure that my artillery keeps shooting at the enemies. We have a long line of enemies drawn out in this area. Let's see if I can get my artillery to target these guys now. High explosive, give me 10 per gun for now. These heavy howitzers, well, not heavy, they are actually light field howitzers, sorry. They can target what? Can I get them to target? Ah, they're moving the gun. They're trying to get out. Well, you are honestly a really good target. Although you still keep moving, so I'll place the strike here. That should catch you in a minute. Let's call this in. I have more mortar rounds just waiting to land on somebody's head, so let's give these guys the honor. Like so. Give me 15 per gun. Fire away. Now the really heavy artillery. These are the 50 centimeter heavy infantry guns. I want them on the KV, if possible. If I manage to hit, it might sufficiently damage or destroy the tank. So let's try that. Let's actually make it a point target. Maybe it works, although let's give it a small separation. Yeah, okay. 10 per gun, give me 15 per gun. Just keep shooting until that thing hopefully dies. Good. In these woods where the incendiary has burned away quite a bit of them, I'm going to retarget this artillery onto the barn here, because there's still enemies in that area. Give me 10 per gun. High explosive. Start shooting. Did this company from Pedemoga arrive? I think they did. So let's start to move them. Yes, they actually did. They did arrive. So many enemies in the open over there. Next stop, the homestead here. I want to capture this. Get more guns facing the enemies. Have a solid line. Yeah, let's do that. These guys, I want you... Well, you have to advance across the open, but I don't think there's too much left to shoot at you, so it should be fine. Move to here. And then you are going to form a defense, like so. And the other platoon is going to do the same. Move to here. Ooh, what is that? Oh, a tank just detonated. I think it's the burning BT. The ammunition just went up. Okay. After you are arrived there, do this. Looks like some enemies are trying to advance towards the homestead. They are not going to get there because my machine guns keep mowing them down. And this is indeed the BT that just blew up. It completely blew apart. Mortars are landing on these men. Okay, let's try something here. I do have assault guns in Chilovsky, two assault guns. What if I bring the other 2 assault guns from Pavlovchiv over to them and then mount an attack with 4 assault guns blazing away? It's still not going to be enough to kill a KV tank though. It just isn't. The KV tank is too well armored. I need something else. I do have light infantry guns here. I don't think they have heat ammunition. They don't. What are you? You are a heavy machine gun. Well, don't worry about that. How to get rid of the enemy tanks? I imagine that both enemy guns are dead. Yes, this one is surely dead now as well. So we can target this artillery onto the enemy tanks as well. Not really. The accuracy is bad. Where's that spotter sitting? Over here. I can have him advance a little bit. Let's have a look. There's a hill in between. So no, that actually does not work. I can have him target the enemies that are in the open here. They are just getting so much pressure from the artillery, it's insane. Call it in. I'll try to kill as many of them in the open as possible. But I have to think how I want to play this. I think it's actually time to attack out of Pavlovchiv. These men look to be on the run. So I'm going to attack out of Pavlovchiv with my assault guns that are stationed there. Maybe luring the enemy tanks in. Let's prepare this attack. I want the assault guns to drive out and attack the enemies. And you will actually drive out to this tree line here. Or do I want you maybe here? On this hill. Line of sight is bad. If I do that, I'll have them drive to here and we'll see what they can accomplish. Assault guns, you will move in a line formation. You will move out. But that's not all. Also in Pavlovchiv, or very close to it, I do have... Where did I park them? I do have my armored recon cars. So I want them to move in as well. To assist the assault guns with their autocannon and machine gun fire. Together, they should be a formidable force against enemy infantry. While that is going on, I will also start sending infantry forward to capture the barn. So for that purpose I will use the 9th company here. Or will I? Yes, I will. You guys will start to advance towards this position here. Start attacking. This is good. This is really good. So the other infantry company, do I want to move you? I have so many men sitting here on the reverse slope of this hill, but because of the tanks I can't do too much. I really can't. The KV. KV is the problem. And so far the artillery has failed to knock it out. It looks to be pristine. The rounds are not hitting. They're hitting all around. They are probably really worrying the crews of the BT tanks, and they certainly are preventing this crew from repairing their vehicle. But the KV tank is still alright. Okay, so this platoon is going on the offensive. Let's send a second platoon in as well. Let's send them as a second wave, essentially. That is then going to phase through the first and attack the barn. Over here, my infantry is attacking towards the homestead. And what a view of the battlefield this is. Artillery hammering the field in the background, machine guns just chattering away. Look at the artillery impacts in the distance, this is amazing. But I'm getting hard targeted by artillery too. Did you see that impact on the right side? It's not all fun and games, I'm being targeted as well. Run, Forest, run. In here I thought this wouldn't be a long battle. This would be over very quickly. Once again, I've underestimated my enemy. It has really become a habit in this campaign. I'm constantly thinking there can't be more of them, and yet there always are. It's insane. It's really insane. All the machine guns shooting. Artillery in the distance. I love it. The atmosphere in this game is so unique. Key point taken. That must be the homestead here. Yes, we took that. I have to start thinking about how I want to resolve this situation here, but nothing comes to mind. I can't deal with the KV unless I get one of my 88s on target, but that's not going to happen. Where's the spotter sitting? On the hill back there, okay. Can you see these guys over there? No, you can't. There are so many enemies. I need to target them with something. You can actually just keep going. You are really suppressing these enemies well. Mortars. Keep shooting. You don't have high explosive shells. You do. Can you... No, you can't target that group. Can potentially target this group. Immediate action fuses, tempo gun. Let's go. What can these guys target? Potentially, no. I guess I'll target just the barn again with him. I have infantry advancing, but there's still a lot of enemies here, so let's try to target them. Might be getting too close to my own men though. So let's actually not. Now, are the enemy tanks going to take the bait? At this point I really think they aren't even able to. I don't think these tanks are able to move. And still the heavy artillery keeps falling. So far without a direct hit. I'll just keep shooting. Can I can't even really get my anti-tank guns, the 5cm guns I mean. I can't even get them on the flank of this thing. This is simply not possible. The way is way too long. They wouldn't even arrive in time. And I don't have any trucks on the field today. Okay. My forces and the enemy are meeting. Maybe I do need to bring this mortar battery to bear. Could try to target. No, I can't. Oh, that might work. Though I have enemies moving, fleeing back here, so let's maybe do this. Temper gun, call the mortars. Yeah, we are flushing the enemies out into the open. I want you to move forward to the assault gun. But the assault guns, they are doing work now. But if they continue this, they will also run out of ammunition very soon. You can't say they aren't successful or effective. I hope. Let's see, I'll tell them to conserve ammunition. Because their shots are a little bit wasted on these single enemies, to be honest. Actually, hold fire. How many shells do you still have? You are down to just a few high explosive shells. Oh, look at that, enemy positions that we are currently storming, but these enemies are so suppressed. Yeah, great job. These enemies are so suppressed, they are done. They are just outright done. They're being killed left and right. Killed inside their foxholes. Here's one who's still brave. No longer brave. They're dying. They're dying in droves now. The enemy tanks are not reacting, which tells me pretty much they can't. These things must be unable to move. Call in more artillery, I guess. It's the final battle, or close to the final battle, so might as well. But what can I do? What can I do against the KV if my 88s don't have line of sight? I can't bring the 88s closer, by the way. Once the 88 has been set up at the start of the battle, it can't be moved. He kicked him. Captives taken. This guy surrendered. He might have surrendered a little bit too late. No, he's still alive, he's wounded. Yeah, the enemies here are wiped out. Key point taken, the barn is ours. By the way, cancel the mortar strike. I hope we don't have shells in the air currently. But I don't think we do. So far, so good. What can we do? What can we do? I can call in this artillery barrage again. Let's start with that. Let's use high explosive tempered gun, call it. But what else can we do? What I could try is to, of course, continue to put artillery pressure on the enemy tanks. That's number one. Number two, I could try to smoke off the enemy tanks and get my assault guns close to them, to a point where they might be able to penetrate the KV? Can they? Or am I risking losing my assault guns for nothing? Good question. I have a feeling that I need to advance out of the village here, into this tree line, occupy this tree line, and bring an artillery observer further forward. Let's start with that. You are going to attack to here. You are going to attack to here. You will do the same here. You are going to do it here. You are going to go here. Your leader is going to follow you. And yeah, these are pioneers. They don't have a mortar attached to them. So let's bring them forward. If I can get them close to the tank. They have mines that they can basically throw onto the tank. Pretty effective, actually. Let's see that we bring more units forward into the tree line. These guys go on the attack. These ones are here at the grove, have taken light losses. Nothing significant, they can stay there for now. The mortars are out of ammunition. Okay, that's actually fine. This is an onslaught. The enemies had no chance. They still don't have a chance. They are still resisting, of course, because they do have these tanks that I can't get rid of. But in the long run, they have no chance. By the way, the heavy infantry gun, they only have high explosive. Yes, unfortunately. Oh, the heavy enemy machine gun is gone. Looks like one of my light infantry guns, which is capable of indirect fire. These things are amazing. You've seen them in the previous, or in one of the previous battles. These things really are amazing. They can elevate their barrel pretty much like a mortar. They've taken out that heavy machine gun. That's another enemy loss that they won't be able to replace. We have taken the barn. The enemy is on the run. How far can we follow the enemy before their tanks get line of sight to us? We are okay. I think all the way to here. To this little group of trees. So let us wheel this platoon around and have them attack towards that position and these guys towards that position. And I will bring the armored cars forward as well to add their fire to the general hilarity that is going on here. Put more pressure on the enemy. The spotter for this mortar battery, you are sitting in Pavlovchev. I will have you move around, because you have smoke rounds. I have a small hope. Go here. Actually, both of you. Go here. And then you will continue to go here. And then continue to here, continue to here, and then you are going here, from where you will go here. That's a long, long way. You will go there, and then you are going to sneak, and you are going to move in here to get line of sight onto the tanks. This is going to be such a long way for them. I can't have them run. They would be utterly exhausted by the time they get there. Heavy artillery keeps pounding this area back here, but we are not getting a direct hit on target. It would be lovely to have one of the field howitzer batteries engage that. What I could try is, now that my infantry has advanced into this tree line, to have the spotter follow them. My assault gun here in the village actually keeps engaging the enemies up there. The assault gun is in a pretty good position. It is able to fire through these trees, hidden from view, but I want you to conserve ammunition. I don't want you to fire off all your shots. We'll need them. So that observer is moving in. I will have your command guy follow you. Let's move forward. Let's start to tighten the noose a little bit. Oh yes, we will be tightening the noose, and not just a little bit. There are still some important questions that need to be answered before this campaign ends. First of all, will we be able to drive the enemy off this battlefield and to destroy those remaining tanks? Will this be the final battle of the campaign? And the most important question of all, did we accomplish enough to secure victory? Do join me next time so that we can answer those questions together in maybe the very final episode of this campaign. Until then, I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Let me know if you think that I'm winning this campaign. Remember, just killing enemies isn't enough. We do have campaign objectives. And let me know what you think of this battle. So, thank you for your time, thank you for watching today's video, and I hope to see you again soon. Until then, have some really great days and goodbye.